Hi there. This is a video on how to clean a Janoel 12 egg incubator. We just got done hatching loads of babies out. It's super dirty and ready to be a great example. Before you get started, you're going to want to grab some supplies, some bleach spray, a paper towel, some dish soap, a nice little scrubby, something to put some screws in, and a screwdriver. I'm using a flathead, but it's actually for Phillips head screws, cross-top screws. And then one last thing is air, canned air, air compressor, or we have one of these little things that blows air. So um, blowing the air out first is what you're gonna really want to do on the top end of the unit. But I guess before I get there, the top end of the unit is where all the electronics and things are, and you can't scrub this out with water. So we're gonna set this down and come back to this in just a second. Everything in the lower half of the unit, you've got your auto rotating tray that you use from day 1 through 18 and the slider that it goes on. And then this is the second tray that the baby's hatched out on, and then the inside tub. All of this you just want to take to the kitchen sink and scrub out with soap and water and the little scrubby. This chicken dust is basically chick fuzzies mixed in with dried egg whites. And so it gets very gummy. When you're scrubbing this out, just use lots of dish soap, go all the way around, scrub it up really good, use hot water, and then take your hand and run around the plastic tub and everywhere, and you'll feel if there's gummy gunky stuff left over, and you can give it another scrub down. So this bottom half of the unit, super easy. Dish soap, a scrubby, your kitchen sink, you're done. It's not too hard. The top half is where we're gonna want to stuff out of the way here. Okay, so this is a little hygrometer. You can see it's got that little chicken dust all over it too. And so this is where I'm just going to use, and I'm move some stuff out of the way here so I don't blow everything off the table. But we're going to take this air blower. Again, if you have canned air or anything else, that'll be great, or an air compressor. Since this is digital, we don't want to use water and a sprayer. So I'm going to just go. All clean. You could wipe it down with a paper towel and a little bit of sprayed down, just a little bit damp, and that would work. Then we have this machine. So before I flip it over and get into the guts of it, I'm going to blow out a couple places. Right here where you plug it in, and the air hole. Okay. Now we're going to flip this baby over, and I'm going to take the screwdriver and so we're going to take some screws out here, but there's some other screws we're going to leave alone. So I'll just explain that to you really quick. You've got the auto turner. This is the little shaft that will auto turn your eggs. And so we're not going to unscrew that. The screws for this are right here. We're going to leave that be. Then you've got these two screws which go to the fan, and we're going to leave that be as well. So we're just going to take this big top unit out, and how we do that is just by the exterior perimeter screws. Here, and then here, and here. We have one more unit, and they have screws at the end. This one does not. So anyway, just your perimeter screws. You can get that going. That's something to put your screws in so they don't roll off and get lost. or blow away with the air compressor. And last screw coming off. So as we pull this thing up, there's wires connected. So you're just going to want to be careful as you open this top half up. You can use the auto turning handle here to kind of pull it up. And I'll just show you. Down here you can see all the wires that go from the motherboard and the brain box of the unit over to the fan. And this thing is filthy. I'm just going to show you. It's never usually this dirty. We hatched out a lot more babies than we usually do. So you can see if I can get the light on that just right. You can see there we go. Just gross in there. So we're going to take the air compressor or the air blower and just blow everything out first before I get really too far in there. If you were to spray this out, then it would just be twice as hard to clean. So definitely get some kind of air to blow it out with. Okay, so something about this unit that I really like is it's got the bristles here to kind of push the gunk up off, and then it makes it a lot easier to blow it out. So if you have a blower and it doesn't have one of these things, grab like a toothbrush or something dry you can just use to lift it up and the air can send it off with. So then we're going to grab this and kind of maneuver it around to just where it feels comfortable to lay. And there we go. Okay. Then I'm just going to take the air compressor and just push everything around it out here and it'll shove it out. We'll go to the other side in a second. I'll turn around. I don't know if you caught that or not, but I'm also getting and pushing everything up off the underside of this around the fan. And I even blew out that electronic motherboard. I've done this a lot of times. It doesn't hurt the unit at all. We've used this unit for about 1.5 years almost straight. So this cleaning method works great, and I clean it every single time we're finished with a hatch. I don't skip once. So I'm going to finish the other side of this. I'm going to look at this a little bit closer to see. You'll never be sorry you blew it out too much. Once you get a wet paper towel in there, if you didn't do a good job, you'll regret it. So it's looking all right. All right, so I'm going to grab my paper towel and my bleach water. And I just spray the paper towel. And then it doesn't go into the motherboard or anything that might fry it. And just wipe it down on the top. And then we're going to pull it open. those wires make it a little difficult, but I have cautiously fiddled with those to see if you can unplug them for cleaning, and it doesn't appear so. If any of you have ever done it and had success, I would love it if you leave a comment and let me know, but I have not been any braver to jiggle that thing even harder than I already was. So anyway, I'm getting the underside here. And then last but not least, I waited until the end, but this auto turning shaft and plastic disc comes off, and I'll show you here. You can just wiggle it and it'll come out. And this is another important part to clean, because when you take the auto turning trays out at day 18, this being in the way is a pain. You can leave it in there, but it can get in the way and it can cause bigger problems if you're using it for more eggs than just the standard 6. So anyway, you're going to take this out and you're going to want to scrub it. I didn't know this part for a long time, and it started to get yellow buildup, chick fluff buildup gunk, and it got harder to pull off because it was really sticky. And the hole there, however I can show that, also got filled with gunk. So I'm going to take my tray or my paper towel and just wipe that out as well and around. And then I'm going to take this and put it in the kitchen sink with the other stuff and scrub it with soapy water and that bristly scrub brush. And then before we get done out here, we're just going to put the screws back. The top of the unit is done. And so if you're not very mechanically inclined, this can seem intimidating. I am not at all mechanically inclined, and this really isn't that hard. It seemed a little nerve-wracking at first because it was out of my comfort zone, but it's really an easy thing to do. So I'm not touching that hole. Just a little something while I'm doing this. This air compressor here was something I found on Amazon, fairly cheap. I don't remember offhand, but since we hatch babies all year long, it was an awesome investment. It really wasn't that expensive, and it's made cleaning out the incubator so much easier. I don't have to run out to the garage or buy a spray can of air. I just grab that thing and just keep it plugged in on the back porch and do half of my cleaning out here. Okay, so that's back together, ready to go. And then just to look pretty, I'll give it a wipe down. And one last thing too, you can get a Q-tip and just dampen it with a little bit of bleach and get in that hole there. I have never put anything wet in there. I don't plan on. I just blow that one out. So that's it. That's how we clean the Janoel 12 incubator. I'll have some more videos in the future if you want to follow our channel. We also have a Janoel 24 that I'll be doing a video on soon. So thanks for watching.